Hello everyone, it is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and tonight we are talking all about a farm theme, all the farm animals. So I want you to tell me in the comments when you do a farm theme, because I know some people do a farm theme in the spring, and I know some people do it in the fall, and I don't know if it depends on what area you live in. So tell me in the comments when you do a fall theme. So tonight, again, all the things I'm talking about tonight are for a farm theme. And then at the top of this post, you'll find all the things that you could possibly need. There's links to my TBT store for all the farm printables. And then I have a ton of farm resources and activities and book lists and freebies for a farm theme on my blog. So make sure you hop over there after we're done. And then links to anything else, like my PD and all the things. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Well, first, let's talk about manipulatives. So I know you can use like animals, like these are like a big like tub of like the mini farm animals. So you could do that. You could do like the bigger farm animals. There's also like the farm animal counters that are awesome. There's veggie math counters. I don't think these are available right now, but usually they are. These are one of my all-time favorite manipulatives. It's just vegetable math counters. Because you can use them for so many different themes. I also love using lima beans. You can tell I write letters on them. I use them for all kinds of things, counting. So lima beans or just any kind of bean are a great manipulative. And then if you have any mini erasers, like these are some little piggies I got in a Kinder crate. So those are some of the manipulatives you can use. You can also use these like mini Jenga blocks from, these are from the dollar store. It's literally, I already opened some of the pack, but they're like little, it's like a mini Jenga game, but it's great because they can make like little farms with them. So they're a fun little kind of manipulative you can use again for a farm thing. I always let you guys know I love my Play-doh trays, and it's because my students love Play-doh trays, and it's also because they are great fine motor, and they're great for problem solving, sharing, self-regulation, calming down, sensory input, all the things. So grab some green and some brown Play-Doh. Now my trick to making homemade brown Play-Doh is to add some dry chocolate pudding mix, because that will make it, one, smell like chocolate, and two, it makes the most gorgeous brown. Because I think it's kind of hard to make brown when you're using food coloring. It always ends up really weird for me. So use chocolate pudding mix to color your Play-Doh, or you can do store-bought. And then some other things you can put in there are some mini farm animals. So they can put those and make a little farm. You can put, these are those, you still have the little thing on them, the little like citrus squeezers from the Dollar Tree. These are great because you're strengthening those hands and wrists as they squeeze the Play-Doh. Lima beans. These are really fun, so they can plant a little garden. And then I have some vegetable counters, and then these are just the smaller, like half-size popsicle sticks. These are so great to make like little fences with. And if you don't have those, you can put the little mini Jenga blocks in there. Those would be really fun too, because my students, when I had this out, they would make like little farms. They would plant the little beans and put them up in a row, or make a fence with the sticks. So much great problem solving. It's a great little STEM challenge. So much fine motor. So all kinds of fun stuff there. So that is a fun idea for a Play-Doh tray. And I have a spot on my art shelf that is for a Play-Doh tray. So that's where I put it. And then these trays are from Lakeshore. You can also get them at the Dollar Tree. And I did check the Dollar Tree website, and they're on the website right now. You can get like, you'd have to go in with a couple teachers, because I think you have to buy like a pack of like 20 or something, but they're on there. Okay. Or maybe you can get like your director to buy them for you, which would be amazing. So like I said, on my blog, I have some farm freebies. So let me tell you the first one. Well, let me set it. So the first one is for the blocks center or your stem center. So here's what my blocks center looked like. So I had my stem challenges, and then my top shelf was always the stuff I changed out for my theme. This photo's on my blog. If you click the link at the top, you can see it up close. But what I had in there were hay bales. And you guys, these are just wood blocks, and I just covered them in yellow paper. I put in some vegetables. Now, if you don't have these, you can put in pretend vegetables, like your pretend food. Put those in there. Put some tractors in there. So I have 2 boys. So now I have quite the collection of tractors. I got this one at the dollar store, and I think I had like 3 or 2 of them when I taught, because these are kind of expensive, I think. Or maybe you can ask a family member to see if they could donate some tractors just for the theme. So yeah, so check also the like the water toy section. Sometimes there's tractors there, but you don't need a bazillion tractors. They will have to share them, which is tricky. But again, we're building in that self-regulation. We're building in some social skills. So not having everybody have one every day, or not every day, but not having one for each child in the block center kind of forces them to share. So it's okay to just have like 3, and then practice sharing. And then you would need like some large farm animals. So my favorite place to get the large farm animals is either a discount school supply or Lakeshore, because there's something that's going to last for forever, and you can use them for measuring or so many things. But like this pig I got actually from like the Dollar Tree or the Target Dollar Spot, so check those places too. But the chickens are from either a Lakeshore or a discount school supply set. And then these farm STEM challenges, and again, it's just giving them a visual picture of what they want to build, because some kiddos, they may not have seen a barn in real life, or they may not have seen a wheat field, or they may never have seen a cornfield in real life, or a gate, or a silo. So these visuals will help them figure out how to build it, because if they don't know what it looks like, if they don't have that background knowledge of what it looks like, they're not going to be able to build it. So these pictures are great. I always have mine on clothespins, so that way I can take it off if they want to look at it closer. So you can have these pictures. Now, here is the fun part, because they've been building in the blocks all year, or if you do in the fall, they've been building the blocks for a little bit, right? So those are some of the fun props you could put out. And then you're going to want to take a giant piece of butcher paper. I have a photo. Okay. And then you're going to want to just put it on the wall with a piece of tape at the bottom with this poster. You get to pick which one you want. Can you build a tall barn, or can you build a long barn? Sorry, Facebook has it backwards on me tonight. So these are a freebie on my blog. So you're going to take this red piece of paper, or whatever color, and you're going to put it on the wall, and you're just going to put this challenge right in the middle. And pick. Do you want them to build tall, or do you want them to build long? Because that's 2 different skills. And there is a developmental sequence to block building. So this is an enclosure. This is a building one of my kiddos built. That's an enclosure. And then this is like a tall building. So this comes so it just depends on what stage your kiddos are at, on which one you want to do. And then what you're going to do is put out some string. Now you can tell my kiddos have had this out in the block center, because there's a couple starting points, but that's okay. So what they're going to do, as you can see, my little guy, he has the white string right here. They're going to measure it with the string. You're going to show them how you have the bottom part touch the floor, and then they unroll it, and then let's say it's as tall as me, so they would cut it right here. And then you're going to take that piece of string and hang it on the chart. Because then what they're going to do is visually compare who can build, or which person built the tallest tower. Now, if you want to, you can put their names on the piece of masking tape. Totally up to you. Or you can leave it blank. But you can see, was my barn the tallest? Was it the shortest? Was it kind of in the middle? And they're going to be visually comparing heights, and they're going to be exploring measurement in a fun, life-size way. So these are free on the blog, so make sure you go grab these and download these. Now you're gonna have to model how to measure with string a couple times, but once you do it a couple times, especially if you have a pre-K or kinder class, they will be measuring in no time. And this is just a really fun motivator to kind of get them measuring and get them building and to kind of get them excited either at the end of the year or the beginning of the year if you do a farm in the fall. And you can do that with any challenge too. So another freebie on the blog is this poster. It says, our farm mural. We worked as a team and painted a mural of a farm. So here's the mural of my farm my students built. So this was in, I literally just like put this on one of my walls in my classroom, or you can put it on the, oh no, I pushed two tables together and I put it on the table. And each kiddo came up and they drew or painted, sorry, a different part of the mural. I think this was a morning activity. And then I also had these photos of different things that are on a farm. These are just like Google images. A horse, chicken, a pig, just all the different things and animals on a farm. And so one friend said they needed grass. Another friend built, a couple friends painted the barn, and we did a tractor. We actually made two of these, so I had two on each bulletin board, so that way everybody could make everything they wanted. Another friend added flowers. We have our tractor right here. So it was just a really fun collaborative painting. And then this, if you stick this on the on your mural in the corner like I did, now you have your bulletin boards done, and it's gorgeous and so much fun, and everybody did it and worked together as a team. Now, you can totally take these photos that you can either print them out. Again, these are I made for forever ago. And again, once you make them, you have them forever. Like this one has paint on it. You can put them at your easel or just put them out at the table with some markers, and they can draw the different animals with markers, or they can paint them. So you can totally use these a bunch of times. You can use them for vocabulary. I have magnets on these. So I actually had in my full day classroom, I had a metal cabinet right next to my art easel. So I would stick these right next to the art easel because it was the perfect spot to put inspiration pictures. So make a farm mural, or they can draw the different animals that are at the farm. So that's a fun art activity you can do. And then another one is stamping. So here is what we're stamping. Sorry. So these are just potatoes. I just cut them in half. I love using these veggie trays for stamping. I just cut my potatoes in half. These I had in my fridge for a while, so they're probably gonna get pitched anyway. So, and then they just pick them up. And if your kiddos are struggling to pick these up, you can put like a fork in them, or you can cut like a little handle in them, and they just smush the paint around and then stamp it. This is an extra one my friend gave me in my class. So yes, they can stamp all of the potatoes. Now you can do this with potatoes. You can do this with any vegetable that you have. I just like potatoes, they just happen to be round, and I happen to have some in my fridge. So that was perfect. And we read The Enormous Potato, so it went along with our book. So that is really fun too, to paint with whatever vegetables you're learning about in your classroom. And then, so when I taught full day, what I did so I didn't have to throw this away, we would cover this in saran wrap and then put it in the fridge overnight, or just on the back table. And then in the morning, we might have to add some more paint, but I could usually get 2 or 3 days out of this activity, so they could come back and do it again. And some of my friends didn't come every day. They could pick what days they came. So that way, if they weren't there the day before, I could put this right back out on the table, and they could do it the day they came. So potato painting. And then we all do marble painting, right? So I found this guy in the bottom of my, what do you call it, pantry. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some potato painting. So it's gonna work just like marble painting. Put some paper down in the bottom of a box. And then I have these little squirt bottles. They're from Discount School Supply. Whole bunch. And then they can just squirt some paint in the bottom. And then, let's put one more color on. How about red? And then what they're gonna do is they're going to move the potatoes around and make a cool painting. Like, how much fun is this? I'm gonna add some brown, just to mix it up a little bit. And these are really great, like twist tops. Again, these are Discount School Supply. I bought them, like I think I've had 2 sets of these. But I've been teaching 15 years. I'm not teaching this year, but I taught for 15 years and I went through 2 sets. But look how cool that is, you guys. And then they just take this paper out and then the next person can paint with them. You can wipe these off with like a baby wipe or something, or the next person can just paint. Whatever works, right? But yeah, it's just something different. And do you guys see when I do this? I'm making my shoulders super strong, and I'm using my biceps. So I'm making all of this upper arm and shoulder area super strong. So, because we need this to be strong in order for our fingers to be strong for writing. So, these marble painting or potato painting or apple painting, it would be really fun to put some like little carrots in there and see how they roll around and paint. So fun. So if you guys do this activity with like a different vegetable, make sure you pop it in the pocket of Preschool Facebook group and show us what you guys did so we can try it too. Another fun activity, this one I kept, was where are my little chickens? So I had some little figures that were chicks. I can't find one right now. We're just gonna pretend this goose is a chick. And some kiddos do not like to finger paint, and that's okay. Sensory is really overwhelming for some. So if they don't want to finger paint, take like a little animal. My chickens just happen to have like a flat piece, and instead of finger painting, they squirted some paint on, like grass, and then they smooshed it around. Now, they could also finger paint, but if they don't want to finger paint, give them an animal, or you could put a clump of straw, or they could use the corn, and they could paint with that. So, and then what they did after that was I put some glue in the paint, and then they got to sprinkle corn kernels, like little corn kernels on their papers. You can see how some of them are kind of stuck in there. So just to add some texture to it. So that was really, really fun. And you could also finger paint with brown paint, and you could pretend that you are like little piggies and you're finger painting in the mud. That would be really fun too. But again, oh, here's the other idea I had. I printed it so I wouldn't forget. You could also make mud slime, which would be, it looks like poop, but it's okay. It's just slime. It's not really poop. But they had a blast with it. So, another fun idea for you guys. You guys ready for some more fine motor? So in my Farm Math and Literacy Center pack, farm geoboards to them. So they can make different things on their geoboard from a farm. And then if you laminate it, they can trace the word at the bottom with a dry erase marker. So you're sneaking in some handwriting as well. I copied like 2 sets of them. So tons and tons of fun, different little farm geoboards that you can do. And I use loom bands with my geoboards just so I can have lots of fun colors. And then the other fine motor activity that was added to the Farm Math and Literacy Centers is this carrot cutting crack. So what they do is you're going to print some carrots or triangles on some orange paper, and then you're going to print the lines on green paper, and it shows you where to cut it. There's like a dotted line. So each kiddo will get to cut lines, and they're going to cut a pointy shape. So again, cutting doesn't have to be boring and horrible. And then what I did was I took some brown paper bags, and I just tore them up so that way they fit the paper. And then, or you could just use brown construction paper. And then they made this really fun cutting craft. Because who wants to cut out shapes and be boring? But this is a fun way for them to practice cutting shapes and cutting lines in a fun way. And you get a really cute bulletin board or portfolio entry for you as well. Okay, and then, oh, for dramatic play, you can change your, let me get a photo, hold on. You can change your dramatic play center into a farm. I have a whole blog post on this. So in our farm, everybody always wonders, like, how on earth do you make your dramatic play into this so fast? So what I do is I always have it closed for a day or two for us to set it up. And you can see here it is closed with not much in it. And the kiddos help paint the murals that are in our dramatic play center. And once you do it for a couple themes, they go to town and they have a blast. And we also made the corn there. So they made the corn, it's just, they cut the shapes. And then I laminated it and put Velcro on the back so they could pick the corn during pretend play. And we had an apple tree. And then on the ground, I put a piece of brown fabric. And then we just did crumpled up brown paper and they planted the carrots. So it was a ton of fun. But again, and here's our little sheep for our farm. So change your dramatic play to a center into a farm. If you want all the details about that, the link is at the top of this post. It says it says farm activities and freebies. So click that link and it'll take you to the blog and you'll get all the details on how to change your pretend area into farm. And if you don't want to do everything that's on there, it's totally fine. Like maybe you just want to do the field of corn and the barn and the farmhouse. That's okay. Just do that part. You don't have to do everything that's in there. I just had a bigger center, so I was able to do it. If you have a smaller classroom, just do what fits or do what you think your students will be interested in. All right, you guys ready for some literacy? Or let's do sensory first, the sensory table. Okay, so I like to, for a farm theme, I really like to put corn in there. Here's just like a mini version of what my sensory table would be. So this is actually like popcorn kernels. And I don't have, popcorn kernels are kind of expensive. So once you buy, 3 or 4 bags or whatever, keep it for the next year. And then you don't have to have it be this thick like mine is in this bin. You can have it just kind of over the bottom. And then I put in some little pom-poms because they can pretend they're crops or hay bales or seeds. They can kind of let their imagination run wild. These are those little Jenga blocks. Half of the set was brown. But you could also put the wooden ones in there so you can see they can kind of like build a little pig pen. And I had little animals and little tractors. So these are actually my scoops from my energy drink that I like. But if you have any families that use formula, you can ask them to save you the formula scoops because they're great. Because look at all that great, look at that great fine motor using that little itty bitty scoop. And these are actually from the dollar store. They came with like that sugar candy in them. And they're empty, of course. I emptied the sugar out. But they're really fun just for sensory play. But you can put those in there or not. Or I thought too, if you have these carrots or if you grabbed any of the chicks from Easter, you could also put these in there and they could fill them up in there as well. Or you could have like brown dirt in there and you could put these in there as well. So you could do this as another option for some sensory play if you wanted. Okay. So that is my sensory activity idea for you guys. And then for a literacy, one more idea. Okay, so and then if you want to, so I would do this sometimes for my small group. So what I would do, I'm gonna try and do it quick, sorry. I would take out all the big stuff, which Usually I don't have this much little stuff in there, but it's fine. So you'll get the idea. We're just gonna pretend all of it's out of here, or most of it. And then what you can do is in my Farm Math and Literacy Centers pack, I have these puzzles. So you can then put these in there, and you can do this for a small group, or maybe like arrival time. And you don't have to print out the whole set. These are just letter puzzles. So like V for vegetables, and they can match it. So feel free too to put any kind of puzzles you have in your sensory table for a small group. And then you don't have to make a new sensory tub for the activity. And then when you're done, you can just put all of this back in your sensory tub. And it's ready for play. And then take this and maybe put it in like a packet chart or on a tray in your library center or something, or make like a little mini one you could put in your center if you wanted, or they could just do the alphabet puzzle later. All right, so this is what I was going to show you. I drew on this big piece of like butcher paper-ish, just some little leaves with some seeds, or some leaves, and then I have a little bag, and then I think I showed this activity when I on the plant Facebook Live. But what you can do is write on lima beans. You go do this with numbers too. What you're gonna do is they're gonna match the seed to the lima bean. You could also do this. So you could do this with numbers. You could do this with sight words. So you could do this with so many different things. And then they're planting little seeds and having fun. And as they stretch, they're using those shoulder muscles. So a really fun and low prep and easy literacy activity. And one thing about these butcher paper activities, look how great. If you make them kind of small, you can fold these up and then keep them with your theme for next year. Or I know some people use like a, what are they? It's like a mini like coat rack almost, or like a little mini clothing rack. That's what I have all my anchor charts on. And then I just kind of hang them up on a hanger. And then that way, if you want to get them out for a different theme, like you could use that for plants, you could use that for spring, so many different themes you could use that for. Now, I think I told you guys, I read when the year I did the potato painting with my class. It's because my kids they loved the book, The Enormous Potato. If you don't know that one, it's a really fun one. But there's also the book, The Enormous Carrot. And if you don't know, there is a giant carrot and all the animals have to work together to pick it. So it's a really great activity, or a really great book that teaches like working together. So you have your big carrot and they have to be able to pull it. And so they're working together and they can't get it. And then they keep asking more and more friends until they can pull it out of the ground. So I just took some Google images and I put them on just some construction paper, because there's the two bunnies in the book. And I just did this, and then as you read the book, the kiddos can come up and they can bring up all the different animals. So it's a really fun way to retell the story. And this is just a brown piece of felt. And I just put Velcro dots on the back because they stick. And you can put the carrot on the front once they all work together and pull it. And then this is how I keep my my kind of like retelling kits, because I will forget if I have a retelling kit and I don't keep it with the book. So what I do is I Google image search, or I just print the book, and I usually put it on the baggie, and then I literally keep the book in here, and then I put this on my bookshelf. So that way, when I go to do, I don't know, you can read this book for a couple different themes like gardening, plants, vegetables, spring, Easter, farm. So that way when I pull this out, I know, I have the retelling kit for this, or I made it and I don't want to make it again. So that way it's right there, and I only have to go one place, and I'll actually remember, to use it. So great little trick. Now another book we all love is Click Clack Moo. There's so many of these now. I was actually, I I was able to meet the illustrator one year at the NACE conference, and it was, she was so sweet. So just another reason why I love these books. But I loved them before. So Click Clack Moo, I know we all probably have this one in our classroom where the cows are writing letters to Farmer Brown, and it's just so cute. And it's a great way to talk about writing and writing letters and the purpose of writing. And I love how they use a typewriter, so you can put a keyboard in the writing center. And on my blog is a freebie, and there are printable friendly letters, and you can have your students write a letter to Farmer Brown. Now, they could be doing scribble writing, they could be doing random letters, wherever they're at, whatever level. Maybe they're writing short sentences, if they're in kinder, or a couple sentences. Whatever level they're at, it's all, they can still write the letters to Farmer Brown. You could say you're gonna put it in the mail and mail it to him. And it's just a fun way or fun reason for writing a friendly letter. So that's a fun freebie on my blog. Again, the link is at the top of that post. And the other freebie that comes with that are these letters. So this has actually been a freebie on my blog for years. Like, it was a long time. This is before I was doing fine motor journals. So these are, I think, it might be a little bit different than the fine motor journal letters, but they're just little letters, and you just print them out. So they kind of look like typewriters letters, and they can do so many things with these letters. They could do a random letter collage. You can do uppercase, you can do lowercase, you can match letters, you can have them sort the letters by color. You can do so many things with these letters. So take these letters, put them in a little bucket, and then put them in the writing center. Now they can write letters to Farmer Brown or make letter collages, whatever you want to do after you read the book or read one of the books of Click Clack Moo. I would usually read the series. I would read one book a day, and then we would read the whole series by the end of the week. So fun freebies for Click Clack Moo. And again, that link is at the top of this post. A fun way to make, let me move this, hold on. Okay. I need more room. A fun way to make words is with stamps, and I don't have the stamps over here, of course. Okay, so we're just gonna pretend I have the stamps. I forgot to grab them. And I don't know where they are right now, so otherwise I would go grab them. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab some brown Play-doh, and they can roll it flat with a rolling pin, or you can have them flatten it with their hands, whatever they want. I just took out a little piece. And again, if you want to make brown Play-Doh, put some chocolate pudding mix into your Play-Doh, the liquids, while you're making it, and you will have gorgeous brown colored Play-Doh. So what you would really do is stamp the letters in the Play-Doh with letter stamps. But since I forgot them, so what you also can do is take a pencil, and they can also write in the Play-Doh. So maybe it's good I forgot the letter stamps, so that way I could tell you guys about this idea. Now, if you're a person that doesn't like all these little Play-Doh crumbs, this is not the activity for your classroom. If it doesn't bother you, then this is so much fun, and the kids love it. So push that one so I can show you guys. So hold on. There we go. Can you see how I wrote pig in the Play-Doh with just a pencil? Now, these are the farm word cards that come in my math and literacy centers. Now, if you don't have that, totally fine. You can make your own word cards. These are some I made. You can tell. They're laminated, got a magnet on the back. I used them many years. So if you don't have my farm math and literacy centers, it is okay. Make your own with just some Google image photos and write them on sentence strips. It works just the same. So, but once you make them, make sure you laminate them so you can save them and use them again, because prepping and making all these things is hard work. So make your word cards, or print them from my center set and then write them in the Play-Doh or use letter stamps. Whatever makes your heart happy. Okay, I have 3 more literacy centers to show you, and then I have some math to show you too. So this is another new activity that was added to the Farm Centers game. So it's chicken coop letter dotted. So there's an uppercase and a lowercase board. So what you can do is I just put these letters in an egg carton, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna pick a letter and then they're gonna cover it with an egg, which is just a pom-pom. So like L, Y, and then they can cover it, the whole thing. Or you could use the black and white version, and they can pick a letter and then dot it with a dot marker, which I can't reach because there's stacks of stuff in my way. So yeah, so again, this is one of the new games that I added. Now, if you don't have my Farm Math and Literacy Centers, all of this is in there, so make sure you go grab it. I just put it in the egg carton just to make it a little bit more fun and engaging. Another new game I added was these tractor rhymes. So there was a rhyming game in there, but I think it was just like matching. So I made it a little bit more engaging and turned it into a tractor rhyme. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna pick a tractor and find the matching rhyme. So we have like, I have a whole bunch. So you don't always have to have them out. And my trick is if you don't want them all out, you can put them in a bucket and then like hide the other pieces. We got like goat and boat, dog and frog, dig and pig, snail and pail. And a lot of them are, the little pattern is there's 4 different patterns. So some of them will go together with ones that don't match. But like dig and dog, those don't match. So they are self-checking a little bit. So yeah, so just a fun way to make a rhyming game. And again, this was just added Sunday or Monday. So I just added all of it. Okay. And then this game was already in there, but I added some fun letter cards. So you guys know I love read, build, write. My kids always loved read, build, write. So there's a couple ways you can play it. So you can do it with the sideboard cards, and they can make it, oh there we go, H, A, V, E. So the lowercase are little piggies, and then the uppercase are, ooh, I have a new light on my phone, so sorry. I'm not used to it yet. And the lowercase are pigs, and the uppercase are cows. Like, so cute. So they can read it, and you can do one letter, or they can match the uppercase and the lowercase. And then to build it, if you're just doing a letter, they can roll like a Play-doh snake. Or you can have them find the matching like magnet letter or something like that. So they roll their Play-Doh snake to make the letter, and then they write it with a dry erase marker. And then erase, erase, erase. When you're done, and put the Play-Doh back in, and then they get to make their next letter. So again, a fun game. You can play it so many different ways. You can also do it with name cards, and they can make their name and practice their name that way as well. Or you could use the farm board cards too. You could also have them read, build, write those. Oh, here's the dry erase marker. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay, my stack's getting a little large over there. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I showed you guys how to make these bean rulers, which they're just with lima beans, and then you basically cover them in packing tape, and then they can measure things, and the beans aren't gonna move around on them and go everywhere, and the kids get frustrated. So for a farm theme, you can either get real vegetables from the grocery store, or you can grab your vegetables from the dramatic play or your pretend food, and they can measure. So this carrot is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 big. So this carrot is 9 big. And I like these rulers because you can set it on top and you can overlap it. You could also, if you wanted to, is measure all of your farm animals. So they could measure all the animals. They could say this sheep is 3 big and this pig is, or long, sorry. You can measure how long they are or how tall they are, whatever you want to do. But you can do it and then give everybody, oh, here it is. So here's my class measuring. I actually went to the grocery store and I got like one of all the real vegetables. And then I just gave them mini clipboards with just a plain piece of paper on there. And they measured all the vegetables and they had a blast. Look at all these little numbers on there. And the numbers are on here. So if they need help writing it, they have a visual right there. Or you can always help them as needed. So a fun game that I added, this is a new one, to the farm centers, is this farm feed and count. Okay, so what they're gonna do is they're going to pick a number card, and look you guys, they're all little horses. So cute. They're all different. So they can pick a horse number card, and they can put it in the pen, and they have to put that many animals inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you know what? You probably won't have that many horses unless you have like a horse set of counters, and that's okay. And then what you can have them do, if you want them to do it, if you want to have them count even more, you can have them feed the horses 7. So you have 7 horses, and then you need 7 pieces of food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you guys, look, you know what my hay is? It's just cut up pipe cleaners. So fun and so simple. Gets them identifying numbers, counting out the animals, and counting out little pieces of hay. So much fun. So this is one of the new math games that was added. So this game was already in there, but I added more boards. So it was growing a shaped garden and it was flowers. So I added some vegetable options. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna pick a shape card. This is a circle, and then they're gonna just cover it up. And then I picked an oval, and then they're gonna cover it up, oval. And then they're gonna pick another one, diamond, and they're gonna cover it up. And they're gonna keep going. And then when the whole game is over, if you're using these like magnetic bingo chips, let's just pretend they're all covered. They can pick them up with the magnet one. So much fun. And again, super simple, identifying shapes. There's a flower board in there as well, but these are just, I added some vegetable garden boards as well. So, oh, and if you want to have them practice shapes, they can also trace it with a dry erase marker. So if they pick the circle, they can trace it with the dry erase marker instead of covering it with a magnet chip, so they can practice drawing shapes. So play it in a way that works for you, that's at your student's level. All right, so you guys know I love a good dice game. So this game was already in there. So I just updated the clip art, but I love this game because it's so much fun. So just a couple options. So let me show you all the different options. So this one, this one's just cover up addition. So they're gonna roll 2 dice, add it together, and then they're just gonna cover the total with a hay bale or a cube or whatever, a bean or whatever you have. You could also use beans as I throw them all over the table. So you can cover them with whatever you want, and when the whole board is covered, so like 3 plus 2 is 5, and then they roll again. And then 1 plus 1 is 2, and then when the whole board is covered, the game is over. Now, so that's one option, so they can use 2 dice. The other option is you want to make it simpler? No worries, I got you. So you can play 1 dice. So they roll the dice, 1, 2. So then they cover the 2. And then they play until they roll all the numbers. Now if you want to make it a addition where they're just adding 1. So not both dice, just adding 1. So they're gonna roll 1 dice, 3, and then they're gonna add 1. 3 plus 1 is 4, and then we'll roll it again. 4 plus 1 is 5, and they're gonna keep rolling until their whole board's covered. If you wanna work on subtraction, they can subtract 1. So they'll roll the dice, 5 minus 1 is 4. They roll it again, 3 minus 1 is 2. And they keep playing until it's over. And then there are worksheets for all of the different options. This is just the count option. So they're all in there for you guys. And again, you don't have to use the worksheets if you don't want to use them, but they are there if you want them. My pile is out of control. If it all falls, it'll be okay, right? Okay, these are really fun. Look, you guys, I added pattern block farm animal mats. And if you have more of my pattern block mats, I put a little barn in the corner so you know these are the farm set. So basically all they're gonna do is they are going to use the pattern blocks to make the animal, and then at the end, they can sort it and see which shape they used the most of. So we have a goat. Oh, I forgot to tell you too, and there's a black and white option for you as well. We have a duck, and a chicken, and a dog, and a cow, cat, and a sheep, and a donkey, and a horse. So, but these pattern block mats are great for like table time, like morning centers, or like I always did like a departure activity. So I did an activity out as my kids were getting picked up, because there was about a 15-minute window where my kids could get picked up, or my students. So this was a great activity because it's something they could do independently, and it was great for fine motor. It's great for their spatial sense. It's great for hand-eye coordination. And it's also great for self-regulation because they have to control their body as they're putting these shapes in, because if they go really fast, it's gonna push all of them off of where they're supposed to be. So it's a little bit trickier than you think it would be for a 3-year-old, but they can totally do it. So yeah, so these farm animal pattern block mats, again, there's also black and white option, have been added to the unit over here. Oh, I have 2 more. Okay. Now, there are more games in the Math and Literacy Center, Farm Math and Literacy Centers. I'm just showing you my favorites and the new ones. So, there was always the tractor race. That was always in there. So, we have tractor race to 10, to 20, to 50, and now also to 100. So, if you're working on counting to 100, but what they do is, so you roll the dice, 2, and they dot that many. Because you've always asked me how you play these games. 1, 2, and then they roll again. 1, and they roll 1. And they just keep rolling and putting that many on until they get to 50, 10, 20, or 100. And again, there's black and white. You can also, if you don't want to use them as a dotted board, you can print them on a colored paper, and you could use like lima beans to cover them up. So up to you how you want to play the game. Now I know we've done this, especially this spring, I've done a lot with all the plastic eggs, but a lot chickens, especially if you have chicks in your classroom, don't forget plastic eggs are great for a farm theme, because especially if you have eggs and chicks in your classroom, or you're talking about chickens, bust out all of the plastic egg activities for you guys. Or bust out for your students. Okay, that scared me. All right, so what you can do is you can put the numbers on there, you can put the numbers inside, and then they have to count that many, put them in, and match it. You could also put addition problems on there. You can also do like a color sorting game. You can also do with letters. Tons and tons of options. But I just wanted to remind you that for a farm thing, you can do all the activities with all the plastic eggs. So I actually have a whole Facebook Live I did last year just on activities you can do with plastic eggs. So if you want to rewatch that for ideas, you can. And the only thing I haven't talked about is science. So for a farm theme, I'm going to be real quick because I know I'm at about an hour. So for a farm theme, I would always almost do plants at my science table, and we would explore plants and grow plants. But I also recently, like this spring, I did a bird unit, a bird science unit. So if you wanted to, if you have chicks in your classroom or eggs, and you wanted to explore chicks and eggs and the life cycle of a chicken at the Science Center, you could totally do that. Here's just some of the things that are included. And I just realized I haven't done a Facebook Live to show you guys the All About Birds and Chicks science unit. So I can show you guys that, or I'll do that maybe like tomorrow, I forgot. So here are just some of the things that are included. Again, this science unit is all about birds and chicks, so this is in there. There are also activities about birds. So this is a science unit you could use probably for a couple themes. And then we have the embryo. And then there's also, oh no, my table's stuck on the chart. Oh no, okay. And there's science table setups for you guys. And there's anger charts. These are great to do during the circle. Parts of a chicken. So tons and tons of things you can do if you are hatching chicks in your classroom at the science table. So I hope you guys have an awesome night and day wherever you are watching this. And if you're watching the replay, have a great rest of your day if you're watching it in the morning. So thanks for tuning in. You guys are amazing. And I will see you guys next week.